Hey everyone, how's it going? And welcome to another episode of Saturday Night Horror. Our month of Christmas horror continues this week. And man, last week we did Santa's Sleigh. If you thought that was bad, just wait. Because this week, we're going even further beyond. We're going even deeper on our way to the bottom of the barrel. Tonight, Lord help us, we're going to be watching Jack Frost 2, Revenge of the Mutant Killer Snowman. And yes, I'm serious, that's the name of the movie. Oh boy. This is going to be a night. So before we get started, a little history about the Jack Frost character. In the first movie, Jack Frost was a serial killer. He was in a prison transport truck. I can't remember if he was being transported to another prison or to the site of his execution, whatever it was. It's been like 2 years since I've watched it. Anyway, they're on an icy road. Snow, just going through a blizzard. They collide with a chemical truck. The truck had some kind of experimental chemical on it, and apparently Jack Frost, his body was doused with the chemical while he was standing in the snow, which turned him into a killer snowman who can materialize and turn into snow and travel through water at will. So, yeah. Anyway, Jack was defeated at the end of that movie, supposedly killed, but since there is a part 2, we know he was not killed. So in Jack Frost 2, Revenge of the Mutant Killer Snowman, Jack Frost is tracking down the sheriff who killed him in the first movie. The zinger, being this sheriff, is on vacation on a tropical island. And now somehow Jack, the killer snowman, can survive on a tropical island. Lord, what are we getting ourselves into tonight? So yeah, tonight's movie we have a killer snowman stalking a sheriff on a tropical island. We should just end it right there. But anyway, that's our movie. As far as cooking goes, if you watched last week, I made or attempted to make iced sugar cookies and completely screwed up the first batch. This week I'm redeeming myself. I'm going to do them again, but I'm determined not to screw anything up. Not only are we're trying to redeem ourselves with iced sugar cookies, but we have a bunch of hors d'oeuvres that we did not cook that were meant for the night after Thanksgiving, so we're going to go ahead and cook those too. So, our movie tonight, Jack Frost 2, Revenge of the Mutant Killer Snowman. Cooking iced sugar cookies and a butt ton of hors d'oeuvres. So that being said, let's go out in the kitchen, let's get this stuff started so we can watch a killer snowman stalk his prey on a tropical island. Lord help us.
Let's go out to the kitchen, let's go out to the kitchen, let's go out to the kitchen and have ourselves a snack.
Alright everyone, here are our ingredients for our sugar cookies. Same as last week, of course. We have vegetable shortening, 2 eggs, salt, vanilla extract, sugar, baking powder, flour, and milk. Not a whole lot, but... And we have 1 Bella. Alright, so first thing we're going to do is we are going to dump our sugar into this bowl here, and I am using the electric mixing bowl because that thing is freaking awesome. Alright, we've got half the shortening in. There's our other half of the shortening. So moving right along. Alright, we got our shortening, we've got our sugar, and now we're going to add our vanilla extract. And I've said many times before, I absolutely love this electric mixing bowl. It saves so much time. This thing is freaking awesome, dude. Alright, now that we've got that in there, we are going to mix this all together. And we're going to start slow. because if you've watched Saturday Night Horror in the past, we tend to make a mess. So I'm going to do everything in my power not to make a mess. And I said that same exact thing last week and ended up making a mess anyway. So maybe we'll have a repeat. I don't know. But we're just going to whip this for a little while until it's kind of consistent. Alright, so we're done with that. I just scrape it off the sides there, mixed it again. So now that we've got everything mixed in, we're going to do our 2 eggs. And just crack that in there, get it in there. Alright. Alright, we've got our 2 eggs in there. Alright, now that we've got our 2 eggs in there, we're going to add our milk. That is 8 teaspoons of milk, believe it or not. Okay, now we've got our milk and our eggs in there. We're going to mix this up again, and I'm going to start slow because I do not want milk and egg yolks splashing all over the place, on me and on the camera. So we'll start slow, get it mostly mixed together, and as it gets more consistent, we'll turn up the speed here. Yeah, we should be good to turn up the speed a little bit more. Alright, everything's mixed up. We're ready for the next part. That went really well. Okay, now that we've got all those ingredients mixed up, I have to add a little bit more here. So let's add our salt. Alright, now that we've added our salt, we're going to continue the process here with our baking powder. It's 2 teaspoons of baking powder. Alright, got that in there. I have to rinse this spoon off a little bit. Well, my mistake, it was more. Alright. We're going to go crazy here. We are going to put in the entirety of the flour. 4 cups of flour. Now usually what you want to do is mix in a little at a time, but since we've got this friggin' awesome electric mixing bowl, we're going all the way. And we're going to start at the lowest speed possible. And unlike last week, I'm going to make sure it's mixed a little bit more before I turn the speed up, because I don't want flour all over the place like we had last week. So we'll just mix this up. When it's consistent enough to where I'm comfortable with going faster, like so, we'll do it. Alright, I'll be back when this is done. Alright, there we have it. That is the sugar cookie dough. Everything's mixed up, and now we're just going to have to roll up in balls, flatten them out, unlike last week, and we're good to go. Alright, so I got them right on the first batch this week. I remembered to flatten them out. We have got 8 cookies to a sheet. We're going to bake these in the oven, 350 degrees, for 8 minutes. Alright, the first batch is out of the oven. They are looking good. They smell good. What we're going to do now is we're going to put these on cooling racks. We got some wire racks set up over there. Now we're going to let these cool down, and when they cool down enough, then we'll put the icing on them. So let me finish baking the rest of them first. Alright, it's been a few hours, about 2 hours. All the cookies have been baked. They're all cool. And now we're going to make our icing. First color is going to be red. I've just decided to do red and green Christmas colors this week. I don't feel like doing all 5 colors, and that's just a lot. And you'll also notice this week the icing is, we made more icing, and we made it thicker this time. Last week when you put the icing on, there really wasn't, couldn't really tell. So we made thicker icing, and yeah. So this actually turned out pink. I'm going to add a few more drops of red to it later, but let's go ahead and make the green icing right now. Alright, same thing as before. All this icing is, this is powdered sugar and water mixed together until it's nice and thick. And then you just add food coloring. That's it. That's all the icing is. Alright, there's our green. I did add a little bit more red, so now it's dark pink. Alright, the icing is on the cookies, and right now they're pretty ugly. The icing has not dried. So now that they're all covered in icing, I'll let these sit here for a few more hours. just to let the icing dry so I can put them in a container. Because if you try to move them now, that's just going to drip off, and it's going to be a huge mess. And you'll notice I put paper towels underneath the racks, because if you don't, that icing will get on the counter, and it's a pain in the butt to clean up. So this way, it'll just get on the paper towels. Alright, it's been a few hours. The icing has dried, and we're ready to, yeah, you'll see one or two may be missing. I may have taste tested some of them, and they're freaking awesome. They're delicious. So everything's done. We're going to move these to a container and clean up. And yeah, I do believe I have redeemed myself with the sugar cookies. Last week has been wiped from the record. Okay, everyone, now that we've got our cookies done, we're going to make our dinner, our main course. Well, we have our loaded bacon, cheddar cheese, potato skins, pigs in a blanket, pork egg rolls, and cheddar cheese stuffed jalapeno peppers, which I do not eat. Jalapenos give me the Hershey squirts. Alright, so here's our first batch of hors d'oeuvres going in the oven. We have the potato skins, which I never ate until the day after Thanksgiving. I always thought they looked disgusting, but they are actually really good. And these are the cheese stuffed jalapenos, which I'm not touching, man. I don't do jalapenos. Beefcake does not do peppers. Alright, they're out of the oven. You see the cheese sizzling on these potato skins here. So those are done. Oh yeah, that stuff, it's not pretty, folks. And like I said, I never ate it because it looked awful, but they are really good. These, however, I will never eat. The cheese stuffed jalapenos. Like I said, Beefcake does not do jalapeno peppers. It gives me the Hershey squirts, and it's miserable, so I will not be touching the jalapenos at all. Alright, our next batch of hors d'oeuvres going in, good lord, I can't talk, are the pork egg rolls. And these Pagoda brand egg rolls are delicious. So we'll put these in for 20 minutes, and we'll take them back out when they're done. Alright, it's been 20 minutes. The egg rolls are finished. They smell good. They're going to taste good. Yes, sir. It's going to be good eating tonight. We're going to need it for this movie. Alright, the last things going in are the pigs in a blanket. These are actually really good reheated, believe it or not. Alright, pigs in a blanket are done. And as I just said, I actually like these better when they're reheated. Like, you put them in the fridge overnight and you take them out and reheat them. To me, they taste better. So yeah, that is it. They are done. And now that our food is done, we have to get something to drink. So we're going to venture out to the garage, which I still have not cleaned up yet. It's only been, what, 3 months? So yeah, let me get down the steps here. I'd hate to fall on camera. That would be embarrassing. And we'll head on over to the fridge here. And we'll see what we've got. Oh, God. Yes.
Never, never spun, there's always Coca-Cola, yeah. Coca-Cola, always Coca-Cola.
Alright, we have got an ice cold cherry Coca-Cola. And the thing about this garage is, if it's hot outside, it's even hotter in the garage. If it's freezing outside, it's North Pole in the garage. So it's cold outside, which means it's twice as cold in the garage, which means the fridge is twice as cold. Yes. And that also means this Coke is twice as cold. But now here we are out in the front room. All the lights in the house are off, of course, except for the Christmas tree, which will have our gratuitous Christmas tree body shot here. Oh yeah. And our ceramic tree over there. So with that being said, our movie has begun, and hold on to your butts. This is going to be a weird one. Alright, so Mr. Tiger has hopped up on the chair with me. Every time I put the leg rest out, I call that his spot because sometimes he'll come out there. And you got Bella over there on the floor. Bella doesn't lay in my lap as much as she used to. She must be going through her big girl phase. where she doesn't want to be in people's laps. But yeah, both of them are out here, so that's awesome. Alright everyone, the movie is over, thank God. That was bad. Usually, there are some horror movies that are so bad they're good, they're so bad they're funny, and you don't mind watching them. This was not one of those movies. Jack Frost 2, Revenge of the Mutant Killer Snowman, was just bad. I don't know how he was able to survive in the tropical heat. If they explained why, I completely missed it. But yeah, Jack Frost was brought back to life, or attempted to be brought back to life by the FBI. They were mixing all sorts of chemicals with what was left of him, and I'm not going to get into that whole thing, I don't want to spoil it. Couldn't bring him back. He ends up being brought back because a janitor is, mopping the floor where they were experimenting and knocks a cup of coffee into this mixture that they were trying to use to revive Jack Frost, and apparently coffee is what brings him back to life. Oh, Lord. Wow. So yeah, he's back to life. Somehow he is he's connected, somehow, psychic telepathy, somehow he's connected with the sheriff that killed him in the first movie. He knows where he is. So Jack Frost, being able to travel through water, dissolves into the ocean, tracks down the sheriff to this tropical island where I still have no freaking idea how Snowman was able to survive in a tropical island. We'll actually get to that in a minute because he does something really stupid that helps explain why, but it's really ridiculous. This movie, like most horror movies for me, the cast was unlikable. I didn't care for a single person in this cast. I didn't care whether they lived or died. I just really didn't care. If they got killed by Jack Frost, awesome. If they survived, awesome. If they got stuck on the island forever, awesome. I just didn't care. Like, I don't know what it is about these horror movie casts, but I don't know. It's hard for me to care about a horror movie cast, and this one was definitely one I did not care for. The acting in this movie was horrible and abysmal, as you would expect from a low-budget film, but man, wow. Lots of corny one-liners in here, lots of lame jokes that just weren't funny. People trying to show emotion that just came off as faked and forced. The acting was just horrible. Not as bad as Troll 2. Troll 2 still holds my spot for the all-time worst acting in a movie ever. This was very close. Horrible acting. The stuff that went on in this movie was just unbelievable, so bear with me. Now, I said I didn't know how Jack Frost, the snowman, was able to survive in the tropics, but apparently he can make it snow. He can change the weather, so that kind of explains why. I guess. When he first gets to the island, he's not a snowman. He's just the carrot they use as a nose. He's a carrot gliding across the ground. I don't understand how that works, but whatever. Later on in the movie, Jack makes it snow, so the entire island is covered in snow, and then we see him in his snowman form. Which, like I said, folks, this movie just boggles my mind, and I'm trying to wrap my head around it, but God, words can't describe how weird and bad this movie was. So yeah, Jack apparently has the ability to make it snow and change the weather, so we now have a blizzard and a snowstorm on this tropical island. Go figure. That actually makes things worse for the movie. Once the sheriff and his colleagues figure out Jack Frost is back, they go back to hunting him down, trying to kill him the same way they did in the first movie, with antifreeze. Not only antifreeze, but the way they're going to do this is they have super soaker water guns, and they fill the super soakers with antifreeze, and they go after Jack Frost. Yes, folks, a bunch of adults have super soakers filled with antifreeze, and they're hunting down a killer mutant snowman. Let that sink in for a little while. Unfortunately for our heroes, and I use that term loosely, the antifreeze does not kill Jack. In Jack's words, I'm new and improved. Yeah, Jack has a weird voice. However, Jack does swallow the antifreeze, and this leads to another plot point in our movie which is absolutely absurd. Jack Frost, the killer snowman, swallows some of this antifreeze and throws up, and when he throws up, a snowball comes out of his mouth. Jack runs away or dissolves into the snow, whatever snowmen do to get away from people that are trying to kill them, and our heroes, again, loosely, take this snowball and try to investigate it. And this is where the BS really hits the fan. This is where you have to put your boots on to walk through all the crap. The snowball that Jack Frost threw up hatches. Yes, it was a snowball egg. And after it hatches, it's a tiny little snowman head with eyes and a mouth. If you've ever seen the movie Critters, think of the critter, but a snowman head. And these aren't just any snowman heads. These are evil snowman heads. Killer snowman heads. So yes, that becomes another plot point in this movie. We found out that Jack has spit up these killer snowball heads all over the place, and now not only do we have a killer mutant snowman on our hands, we have an army of killer snowball heads, snowman heads, whatever. I can't believe everything I've just said, but yeah, everything I've just said is true. It has happened in this movie, and I cannot believe it. So we go from trying to kill the mutant snowman to now fighting an army of little mutant snowman heads, and oh my god, it is every bit as ridiculous as you would imagine. They take their super soakers filled with antifreeze, they shoot all the baby snowman heads. It plays some old World War I, World War II battle music as they're engaging into combat with these snow. I'm just not into it, folks. This is so ridiculous. I'm just not feeling it. So yeah, they fight the army of evil snowman heads, and then we get a final showdown with Jack Frost and the sheriff, which lasts all of 3 seconds. So yeah, the whole movie is building to Jack Frost confronting the sheriff that killed him in the first movie, and their final confrontation is like 3 seconds. That's it. And the movie ends abruptly. It just ends in a weird spot, and you're like, what the hell's going on? Then during the end credits, there's something happens that was supposed, I guess, would set up the next movie in the franchise, which has not happened yet, and I can't say that I'm surprised, but the next movie in the franchise was proposed to be Jack Frost being the size of Godzilla and calling himself Jackzilla. Yes. Jackzilla was to be terrorizing a city, so think Godzilla, but instead of Godzilla, a giant mutant killer snowman. You know, folks, I absolutely love horror movies. I have so much fun watching horror movies, but then some of these movies come along that make me think, you know what? Maybe it's time to take a break from horror movies. Jack Frost 2 definitely was that movie. And it's a shame because, in all honesty, I love the first Jack Frost movie. I'm a huge fan of the first Jack Frost movie. Matter of fact, it's behind me in my Blu-ray collection now. The first movie wasn't great, but it was funny. It was a fun movie. This one was just, to me, was just plain stupid. It was just absolutely, and I know it's supposed to be like a horror comedy, but the amount of ridiculousness of this movie was just off the wall, man. It was just so bad. So yeah, huge. Both movies were low budget, corny movies, but even with that being said, it was a huge decline. Like the first one is up here, the second one just straight to hell. So Jack Frost 2, I cannot recommend this movie at all. I can't even recommend it for a laugh because it just wasn't funny. It was just, you're watching it and you're like, really? Like, at this point, they're throwing Dookie against the wall and seeing what sticks and what slides down. It was just, So yeah, Jack Frost 2, Revenge of the Mutant Killer Snowman is definitely not recommended. The first one is. Definitely watch the first one. But the second one, avoid at all costs. You are not missing a single thing if you skip this movie. Trust me. You're not missing out on anything except 90 minutes of your life you'll never get back. So with that being said, I think that's going to do it for this week. Next week, Don't know what we're watching, but good Lord, it will not be Jack Frost 2 at all. Ever again. Nothing in the world can make me watch Jack Frost 2, Revenge of the Mutant Killer Snowman ever again. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. No amount of money in the world. Nothing. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this episode. I enjoyed everything but the movie itself, unfortunately. But sometimes that happens, man. Sometimes we get winners here on Saturday Night Horror, and sometimes we get duds, and tonight was most definitely a snow-covered turd, to say the least. Sorry, everyone. I'm going to get out of here. Thank you for watching. I appreciate it. I hope you enjoyed this episode. Hope you all have an awesome rest of your weekend. Have an awesome week. And I will see you here next week for the next episode of Saturday Night Horror as our Christmas Horror Month continues. Appreciate y'all watching. Thank you for your support. Hope you enjoyed it. Y'all take care.